Hey everybody, how are you doing today? This is Lee, and we have Coke and Evan hanging out with us for a guitar talk today. Um, I'm gonna check the chat real quick. We're gonna be talking a little bit about some a neat new invention that I had heard. Oh gosh, a few months ago. I thought it was really cool, but didn't know much more about it than that. And we've got Coke's gonna hang out with us, and he's actually had a chance to play it, the Yamaha Transacoustic. Um, I'm going to, let's see here, check the chat real quick before we get started. So David's here. Hey, David, good to see you. And Dean is here. Dean, I got your message. Today is the day. I'm going to get back to you on that, I promise. David, let's see. Coke just was in there. Hal's here. Good to see you, Hal. And Brennan. And so we got some more folks coming in as we go. So let's introduce everybody today. We have Coke Morris. How you doing, Coke?
Can't complain.
Can't complain.
There's like I was telling you before we started, the roofer's still roofing here, but he's literally like right there, right. We're 2 feet away from a guy.
That'll be good. That's, that should cause some have a cause for some good audio today with the movers who are moving the people out from behind us as we speak today. So maybe they can get in rhythm. That would be interesting.
Right.
And Evan's here. How you doing, Evan?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. That's good. How's everything down in the Big Easy today?
Um, from what I'm hearing, it's not as bad as it could be. They're not having as many cases. I think there was a lull in number of cases, and I'm just staying inside and out of it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I heard Alabama is had a bad time of it, but other than that, in this area, that's about it. So that's good. Okay, so we're gonna do some guitar talk today. What I thought we would talk about is, this was inspired by Coke had brought it up, and it's something that I had brought up a couple times. It's the Yamaha Transacoustic. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can bring up Yamaha's page real quick. There we go. Let's see. Bring it out to everybody else. Okay, so we've got here's their main page, all the different models, but at the bottom it explains it a little bit better. Basically what this is, it's several different styles of acoustic guitar, but they contain an actuator on the inside, underneath the soundboard. And I'm just going to read what they said. It's an actuator installed on the inner surface of the guitar back, and it vibrates. Oh, the back. It's not the top. The back. It vibrates in response to the vibration of the strings, and then the actuator, the vibrations are conveyed to the body of the guitar and to the air in and around the guitar body, generating authentic reverb and chorus sounds from inside the body. So basically what we have is a guitar that you can take anywhere. You don't have to plug into anything, and you get a very full sound with reverb and chorus. And it says it has simple controls. There's 3 controls. One is for the chorus, A, and B is for reverb control, and you have a room all the way up to a hall reverb. And then C is the switch and also the line out volume control. Okay, so and I'm going to go through a little bit more. Decided to provide superb acoustic tone. It shows the bracing of it, and something about the neck too. I had heard about too. It's a straighter neck taper, and hand rolled. The edges are rolled, so it's supposed to be a pretty comfortable neck. 5-ply neck with rosewood and mahogany, a strong stable neck. And I'll tell you what, Yamaha acoustic guitars almost always have a strong stable neck. And then the last feature is a newly designed battery box. So you don't have the huge cutout in the guitar. It's where you're already cutting out for where you plug in. So those are the features of the guitar, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask Coke about how did you get a chance to play this guitar, and what was your first impressions of it?
So I just happened to be in. I don't go into Guitar Center that often, but I was in there, and I always go hang out in the acoustic room, right? Because I don't want to plug into an amp and start wailing away and around a bunch of people, right?
Right,
And nobody is ever in the acoustic room.
right.
So I go in there, and I'm fiddling around or whatever, and one of the employees comes walking by. You need help? I can give you a little. It's like, no, I'm good. I'm just, wasting some time. And he's like, you know which one you should try out? Let me show you this thing over here.
Right.
And so he's got that Transacoustic, and he says, go ahead and try this one out. And he just puts it in my hands. He doesn't turn it on or anything yet. He's like, how's that sound? And I was like, that's actually pretty good. I do like that, and I knew nothing about it by then,
Right.
And he goes, watch this. And then he presses the button, and it just, as soon as you hear it, it blows your mind, because that actuator on the back of it, or well, it's inside the guitar, but it's, pressed up against the back,
Right.
the backing. And what it does is turns the guitar into what can only be described as like a megaphone or something like that, right? So if you picture a megaphone and it's got an actuator inside behind the big sound, funnel or whatever,
Right.
and then it vibrates and it turns an electrical signal into the whatever you hear, the acoustic sound that you get. Well, the guitar, so if you had they're doubling up on the like technology we already use. They're taking the guitar itself and turning it into a giant speaker or a giant, like megaphone. And so it feels, when you play it and it's turned on, it feels like the sound is coming from friggin' everywhere. I mean,
Right.
I can't describe it any better, but when you play an acoustic, it's already like, blasting out from you, right?
Right.
But then you turn on the chorus, you turn on the reverb, turn on both, and it's just it's mind blowing. Instantly, your jaw drops. It's cool.
That's neat. When you're playing an acoustic guitar anyway, and when you can feel, especially if you're leaning over top of it and you can feel it, but that doesn't really translate out there. It's almost like a reverb that the player's experiencing, but no one else is. So
Yeah.
when you have this, I would assume that the extra long tail of the reverb, especially if you have like go more towards the hall reverb like that, would make it feel like it was coming alive a little bit. Like
Yeah, that's
really
exactly
responsive.
perfect description.
Yeah, so it's something I'm really interested in playing. And I'm a fan of Yamaha guitars in the first place. Uh, I've had a couple of the old Yamaha guitars, and they're built like a tank. I mean, they're really, for an acoustic guitar, they're very solid guitars. And I play a nylon string. I forget the model number. It's in storage right now. I haven't played it in a while, but it's got it's the kind where you can pop. The Rodrigo y Gabriela used this same one where you can do all it's got the I forget if it's transducers, what it is, but they're on the underside of the top of the guitar, so you can do all the percussive things with it, and it comes through the pickup, which a lot of people who try to do that style of music and they just have a regular piezo pickup, it doesn't really work, all the tapping and popping and stuff.
Right.
So I own a Yamaha. It wasn't very expensive, and it's a nice guitar. How did the guitar itself play?
You mean just as a guitar
As
itself?
a guitar, yeah.
If it didn't, like, honestly, if it didn't have all of the cool feature on there, and he had just handed me that guitar, I was already sold. Like, okay, this
Okay.
sounds good. This sounds
Okay.
great. So I think that, they didn't want to fluff up something bad already. They didn't want to set it up on a platform that wasn't going to sound good.
Right.
They wanted to really sell that sound. So they put it on a guitar that already sounds good. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Evan, so have you ever played any Yamaha guitars, or what kind of acoustic do you play?
Mine's a Fender.
Okay. Have you ever played a Yamaha before?
I have not.
Okay, they're really neat, man. It's a I would when I had people who were just dying to play acoustic and wanting to spend a ton of money on guitars, even their lower level stuff, um, I would always kind of nudge them towards the Yamaha stuff. Uh, it's it's really nice to have a a brand of guitars that you know is gonna. It's kind of like the Squire Strats, you know, where you know that you're going to get a guitar that's going to last a little while, even if you're not it's something that you could play on and on and on. It's not something that's going to fall apart after a couple of days. It's a decent guitar for a decent price. But the Yamaha that I own, the nylon string, it's more of a mid-level guitar. It's more like in the $500 to $600 era. How much are these going for? Did you see how much they were going for?
So that one that I was playing on, I think was 600.
600. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm looking here now. The top one, I guess, with the LLTA, which is Engelmann spruce top, and all the whistles. It says MSRP 1728. So that's really nice that you were playing one of the mid-level guitars,
Mm-hmm.
and it still was a really nice sounding and playing guitar. That's pretty cool, man. I'm interested in this.
That they're putting the technology in their mid-range guitars is fantastic.
That's true. That's true. What so Evan, if you had if their choice of doing a chorus on an acoustic guitar, have you ever tracked any acoustic guitar and put a chorus on it before?
I've tracked acoustic guitar, but I've never put chorus on it. I did check out a demo of this particular guitar, and it's a fantastic sound.
It's a neat sound. It definitely is, and it's a sound that goes across a lot of different styles of music. The one that I think Zach Wild on his acoustic parts always has a chorus going on it too. But then a lot of modern music too is using that same sound again. So it was neat. I went through the Yamaha's videos. They have about 4 of their standard product videos, and they were playing kind of modern, singer-songwriter song sounds with the mix of the reverb and the chorus. So I thought it was really nice too. I'm not a big chorus user, especially for electric guitar. I tend to go more towards like Hendrixy, like Univibe type, if I'm going to do a chorus type sound. But it was really nice. It was really nice. Now the Dean's asking, how was the neck? How did that feel, Coke? What did you think about that?
I don't recall exactly how the feel was, but I know that if it would have been, not comfortable, I would have remembered that. You know what I mean? Like you remember the bad. You don't ever
Right.
The good stuff is just like, yeah, it was there. It obviously didn't suck, right?
Yeah, I don't think I ever would sit back and go, man, the neck of that guitar was awesome.
Right, yeah.
I guess
One thing I really remember about it is fit good in my armpit.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like,
That's right. That's right.
yeah.
That's cool. The part I want to get into is how they make that happen, and the battery power, and also I want to ask about the volume. How if you're in a room full of like a just standard sized room, does it actually make the guitar fill up a little bit more? How's the level in between the effects and the guitar itself? Nice.
Can we hear it now?
Yeah, it's good. It's good, man.
Well, so the sound level for me, because their acoustic rooms are pretty big, so the fact that while you're playing it without any of the effects on there, you know, it just sounds good. But then the effects come on, and it, like you said, it does come alive. But the thing is you can still plug it in. So I mean, if you're playing to a room full of people, you're still going to have your chorus and reverb on there, and you're still going to be plugged into an amp. If you played it in front of an acoustic mic, you know what I mean, then it's still going to be just the sound that you normally would get out of a guitar that's posted up in front of an acoustic mic. So I still think, I mean, I want one. It just sounded great.
I'm gonna check the chat here. I think, let's see. Hal's in the chat, and he says I played the FGTA a little bit before the pandemic. He says, "Wow, it was cool. The LG and LS, I think, are their solid wood versions, and a buddy told me they are very sick. The FG was really, really neat." So we've got another person here who's had a chance to it. He says the only problem I have is a weird clear pick guard. I guess if that is the only problem, it's pretty darn minor problem. That's right. And Dean asked how the neck was, and Hal says the neck was a little bit on the chunky side, not a baseball bat, but thicker than most, and felt like a comparable to a Martin. And then he says the only complaint of a Yamaha from the Guitar Center sales guy, who I like and gigs around town, was it doesn't have a Martin or Gibson sound. Otherwise, it's awesome. Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing too.
Not at all.
You know, sometimes a little bit different sound, you know, is what's called for in different places too. So, so that, thank you, Hal. Thanks for chiming in there with that. And not having tried it before, not having the opportunity right now to try one, I thought, well, thank God Coke's going to be here. You know, but it's so interesting. It's so different. And I love, you know, in acoustic guitars, you don't get a lot of technology boosts. You know, it's basically more of the same as we go on, you know, and or how can we get a guitar to sound like an older guitar? And that's basically all we have. So when something like this happens, it's really, really, really nice. David asks, how much more does it cost over a regular acoustic? It doesn't sound like it costs a whole lot more from what we're hearing. So they have ones, if that was in the $500, $600 range, then, you know, they've got one for each level. Chris says, take my money. That's right. David says, are the effects electrified? So so it has something to do with the air and the vibrations of the actual guitar, and it's not like a speaker. So I guess it needs a battery to happen, but is it an electrified, I guess how it takes that sound, and when you plug it in, it combines that with your bridge, your undersaddle bridge. I'm really curious how I'm not sure how this. Coke, did you get to see how that worked when it's electrified too? How it picks? Is it like a microphone picking it up, or?
No, I didn't hear the you know, the effect of it being plugged into an amplifier. Okay. But what I can say is that, you know, the actuator that, you know, they're using is taking the sound, you know, from the vibrations of the guitar itself, and then they're also adding the effects onto those vibrations. Mm-hmm. So the sound that comes out of the hole, you know, out of the sound hole that you hear, it doesn't sound, man, it's 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 one of those, you need to be there to understand what that kind of is doing, because it doesn't sound like I guess mechanical the way it would coming out of an amp. It
Right.
sounds like the actual sound is changed inside the guitar. So however they're picking up the sound through the electronic portion of it, whether you run it through an amp, I feel like it's still going to sound like if you had plugged in any other acoustic, depending on what, I guess, pickups they're using or what system they're trying to go for there.
Let's go back to their website and see if they talk about the pickup at all.
Yeah.
Let's see if they're so they're talking about the actuator, the controls, the top, playability of the battery box. They're not saying anything about what the pickup is, but let's see here in the actual product information. New creative space, great for recreational guitar players. Solid top, my LC Western by design. Solid. So they're not talking about the actual pickup itself. What kind of pickup it uses? Is it like a microphone based pickup or a blend?
Is it up there under specs?
Yeah, man, I'm glad I got you around. There we go. Okay, so sound hole inlay, pickguard, electronics. So a System 70 Transacoustic plus SRT piezo pickup. And then these other ones, this on the back here, CGTA and CSFTA, just have the System 70 Transacoustic sound with, I guess, without the piezo pickup. So it looks like it's a blend of two. So maybe let's look up the System 70 Transacoustic.
I think that's just the actuator part of it.
Yeah, so maybe the actuator part.
Oh, it also includes a pickup.
Also includes a pickup, right? That's my thinking.
I just read what Chris asked, how natural it sounds, and anything synthetic, etc. That's what I was trying to get at. Is it sounds like more natural because of the fact that the sound is getting changed inside the guitar itself. It's not changing through affecting a pedal. Like when you plug in a pedal, you're immediately like, okay, now here's my death metal sound, and you're like, that's definitely not coming out of the guitar,
right?
But the sounds that you're getting out of the Transacoustic, it just sounds natural, but it really messes with your ears. Like this, as soon as you start strumming and it's on, you're like, what? Because it's an acoustic. You've heard that sound so many times. You know what I mean? As soon as you strum an acoustic, you're like, yeah, that sounds right. And then you turn on the effects of the Transacoustic, and you're like, that does not sound right. Something is definitely different here. But it does sound like you're used to. You know what I mean?
Right. Like a big processed sound, but natural at the same time. That's pretty neat.
It sounds like it's actually physically affecting the vibration of the back of the guitar and the strings themselves. So it's projecting a natural sound. It is a completely natural sound. It's just been manipulated. The natural acoustics have been manipulated by this actuator.
Mm-hmm. So, and if you think of like the point of your ears are still hearing the acoustics represented from that same spot. Nothing has changed. And then suddenly in the back of the guitar, the actuator has engaged as soon as you've told it to, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And it's just changing the vibrations that are coming out of the acoustic, space. So it's still coming from the exact same place. They've just changed the vibration a little bit so that it sounds different, but it sounds natural. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention is that you were talking about the chorus before,
right?
And I like the sound of the chorus that they have. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound. I don't know. I'm not huge on chorus either, so I don't really
Cheesy.
like too much. So the way that they've done it, it still sounds like, oh, this is beautiful. The way they incorporate it
Right.
into the acoustic.
I like a shimmering chorus. I don't like a big, wide chorus where it kind of you lose the tone of whatever it is that you're hearing. So, and that's
Go navigate to the, like, they have samples on there. Maybe we
okay.
can.
Let's see here. All right. Okay.
I think I saw it. I don't remember
Go
where.
back.
I was checking it out on my phone. It's definitely there. Somewhere on the main page for the Transacoustics, they
There we
had.
go. Yeah, I think the this was the. I don't want to play a lot of it, but I'll play a little bit. That's cool, especially for a nylon string too.
Oh, what I was looking at is they've actually got a you know, like a 14-second blurb that it says, reverb, it says chorus and reverb or whatever.
Okay.
Somewhere on there.
We'll hear
Somewhere,
those.
it's just a small MP3 player somewhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me go back and
And it's helpful because they're playing the same thing,
all right. Oh, down here, these normal, then reverb, then chorus.
Yes.
Then...
Yeah.
Okay, let's take. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Yeah. Okay. Let's. So here's the normal. Okay, and then here's with just the reverb. So that's pretty cool. It's a nice bright reverb too, which you wouldn't think coming through the sound hole of an acoustic. Yeah. Which actually works nicely with a bright reverb like that with a slap type style on the strings. Here's the chorus. Yeah, which is nice. It's kind of like a Roland type chorus, kind of not so heavy. And here's both of them together. That's nice. Yeah, it's very nice. That's really nice. Okay, let's go back here. Okay. So let's. Who's gonna buy one so we can all try it? So you can try. Okay, so we'll have round 2 after somebody scores one of these bad boys that we can see. I would think it would be nice that for me, sometimes, say I'm on like a trip or something, I just bring my acoustic. I don't have any amp or anything with me to have a really pleasing sound. Sometimes with an acoustic, I play it for a while, then I'm ready to pick up another one. Like I'm ready to it would just be nice to be able to vary the sound, add the reverb and do those things too.
Well, not only that, if you're ever around any other person and you're not plugged into any other thing and you just start playing, you're going to blow their mind.
Right.
It's just going to happen. They're not going to see it coming. They're going to say, that guy, I remember he was a really good guitar player. I don't know how he got that sound, but it was amazing.
Kind of like I remember when the Bose sound systems came out. The ones that they have like the little mini speakers that
Tiny thing.
Yeah, but and they go up real tall. The
Yes.
and you'll see someone who's like it's usually an acoustic player singing through it with the microphone like 2 feet away from it, and the whole room is filled with sound from this one thing, and the microphone should be feeding back like crazy. And as you go around the room, you're not getting pockets of sound. You know, it's not a huge, enormous sound, but it's a very even sound. And that was for a while there. That was this kind of thing where if you saw somebody like that, like, oh, they got the Bose sound system thing. Let's go check them. You know, so neat advances, man. You know, we don't have.
Reminded me of something with that. Just because I was thinking of headphones and speakers and all of that stuff. If you've ever used those, they're like against the bone earbuds.
I've never used that. I haven't used it.
So that's like the same concept as what they're doing with the actuator inside of the acoustic. It's basically against the bone acoustics, you know.
Right.
So whatever you use those earbuds or whatever, you're supposed to, you know, they've got them where they press against your jawbone, they press against wherever, you know, for that system. But that's the same concept, you know, that anybody that is familiar with them can relate to that.
They use the melon, the noggin for amplification. Yeah, I think everybody's kind of probably done that with leaning your head up against a speaker.
Yeah.
And you can feel it in your feet, you know. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, man. Pretty cool stuff. Is there anything else that we didn't cover with this? We've talked about,
I guess, battery life. We didn't look that up.
Yeah. How long did you get to play it? Did you have any, like 14 hours or anything?
I feel like I did mention it to the guy, and I was like, so how long is this, you know, I mean, how often are you changing the batteries here? And he's like, I don't know, we haven't changed it yet. And I was, you know, that didn't really tell me anything because I don't know how long he's had it.
Right.
But if I turned it on, messed with it for a while, and it was still going, well, I'm sure a bunch of other people have too. But I'm still, you know, I'm still curious.
Let's see. Dino, I'm going to check the chat here for a second. Dino says, my acoustic is a Yamaha. It's a good all-around guitar, right? Kenny's, he says, Yamaha always seemed to be more quiet, deep tone, especially their older guitars, definitely, but not so much now. The one I have now that's a more modern Yamaha is a brighter guitar.
Yeah, this one was bright from what I recall. It wasn't like, especially compared to the ones I have. Mine sound more like what he's describing.
Right. And Chris was asking, we talked about this, how natural it sounds, and then Dean says he's been thinking about the new Martin, the SC13E. Is that the one that I had an interview with Angela Petrilli, and she's been doing a lot of the demos for that one. I think it's the smaller body with all the belt with some cool stuff on there. The SC13E acoustic electric guitar, but this is really unique. Maybe both. Yeah, why not, man? Maybe both. We're in quarantine. Go for it, right? Dina says definitely like the Tonewood amp. I haven't had a chance to use the Tonewood amp. Is that little like long white one? I think I saw someone playing through one. Chris says, I remember when I didn't have an amp, I pressed my guitar against the window or table while playing to amplify. Times were hard. That's right.
I did that as a kid, yeah.
Yeah. And Dean says, great presentation, Coke. We're going to get the Yamaha people to check this out, man, and get Coke to go on tour. Brennan liked it. Very cool sound. And Josh says the chorus sounds a lot like my crate amp. Yeah, sometime choruses can add an odd mid-range to a sound too. When they swirl, it kind of gets a throatier kind of sound. And this chorus sounds very scooped, so it's not like fighting with the actual tone of the guitar. So I like the chorus on it too. Brennan says it almost sounds like a 12-string. And then with both the chorus and the reverb, right? And then Chris says Chris has some of the cheap bone conduction headphones. I've never used those before. I ruin earbuds like crazy, so I just buy the cheaper the better. As long as I hear something out of them. And David asks, what kind of batteries does it use? That I don't know.
I think it's just AA.
Double A batteries. Well, that's nice because 9 volts they're going up. They're going up. Okay. I would suggest you head on over to Yamaha. This first video works. The other ones didn't work for me. Let's see. No, not working. The top one there, checking their page out and going through all the different models. I guess I'd like to know what the different models are. I think that's where I'm at right now. So we've got there's the LLTA, which is the one I talked about before. I guess that's the first one. So it's here, let me switch over there so you guys can see.
I was going to say, let us see. What are you looking at here?
I know I got windows and windows and windows, and I'm flipping through here. So there we go. All right. So we've got a traditional Western body design. Okay. But it looks like a dreadnought type shape. And then we have the LSTA, which is like an what is that shape? Auditorium shape or
concert
shape? Yeah, with the high sides there. Let's see. Yeah, so their descriptions not great. They don't really tell you a lot. I guess you have to go into the specs for each one. Let me go to the specs then when we're back. Okay, so traditional Western, concert, CG and CSF. Wonder what that is. That classical? I'm thinking. Let's look at the CGTA. See if that's a nylon string. Yeah, it is. And then the CSFTA is another nylon string, but that looks thinner than a traditional nylon.
Oh, I'm on the wrong one.
Yeah, and this one looks like a thicker. So this is like a thin line. This is a lot like the one that I have. Looks a lot like it. The CSFTA. So that, let's see. They're all a 25, well, 25 9/16. One's just a straight 25. I don't know though. Let's see, 23. Okay, yeah. So the CSFTA, the scale length is a shorter scale length. And the CSFTA is not as long either. Body length is smaller either. And the width 13s. So the widths here, the traditional Westerns are thicker, and then that CSFTA. So of your classicals, you've got like a standard size classical guitar, and then a thinner body. One by depth, nut width for the classical, the CGTA, that's the very wide nut, 2 1/16, which can get some take some getting used to, but I guess that CSFTA is very similar to mine in the fact that it's, if you're an electric guitar player, you'll feel more comfortable with it. Engelmann spruce, solid spruce, and Sitka spruce for that smaller one. Okay. Everything else looks the same. That was fun, man. That was good. Let me head on back over here. There we are. So Chris says I use them when, okay, he's talking about the earbuds, and Chris says, who's gonna buckle first and get one? I don't know. Not me, man. I can't even get to my own stuff right now.
Wish I was in the market for an acoustic right now.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, maybe it's planting a seed, you know? And what are the reviews like on there? I can check later, Chris says. Let me check later all the same. What are the reviews like on there? On the Yamaha site. Let's see. Is there reviews? Did I miss some? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure when I do break down and get a different acoustic or a new acoustic, it's going to be one of those. So
awesome. Well, we will do this again that time, and we will make your picture very big with your fancy guitar, and then we'll sit down in the corner and just smile and listen to the beautiful sound. But even more important than all this, we got to meet Coke today, man. We've been wondering who is this crazy guy, man. We've been enjoying your everything that you've been saying in the chat. It's great to see you, man.
Yeah, I've been trying to contribute as much as I can in there.
Well, we appreciate it, man. It's good to have some good people here. So thank you very much. Thank you. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna end the Yamaha talk, and we're just gonna do some talking about our 3-month challenge that we've kind of brought up yesterday, and seen if anyone in the chat or if Evan or Coke have had some time to think about maybe what they would like to accomplish by the end of the summer, something that could really have a big change on their guitar playing. Has anybody here in the Zoom room had a chance to think a little bit more about that, or thinking about trying?
Well, it was good timing that you brought it up when you did, because I had literally made my own decision just a day or two before then that I wanted to get to recording. I wanted to lay down at least one track in the near future. So it just worked out that it lined up.
So that's a definite then.
That's a definite for me. I've already got some ideas sketched out on Cakewalk. I've kind of laid down before. I want to start going through them and start fleshing out an actual song from them.
When you get past the guitar, what's your game plan?
When I get past the guitar, I think when I get past the guitar, I want to lay down the bass. I'm doing it all to a click track.
Right. So are you
gonna do it to the bass, and then I'll probably add drums last, because I think the drums will take me the longest.
Okay. Are you going to use loops, or are you going to look for like a MIDI drums type thing?
I think I'm going to use MIDI drums. I could go the easy route and use loops, but I don't want the drums to sound that mechanical.
Okay. Well, when you get to that point, I know a lot about this stuff. I know a lot about all the different drum synths and all the loops and all those kind of things. Have a bunch of stuff too that I could share with you as well. So, and the one I always recommend is Easy Drummer. You can get some really good sounds. I've used a Steven Slate before. Cakewalk used to have one actually that wasn't half bad called Studio Drummer. You had to. Oops, I lost my headphones. You had to look for different loops, and there's actually a place called Groove Monkey that sells just the MIDI part, not the sounds. It's just the actual fills and the drum beats. Okay. And they're fantastic. And they loop them into they bunch them into different styles too. So it's really easy to you find basically the style that you want for one part of it, and 9 times out of 10 I use their recommendations to fill out the rest of the song from that. So I'm not having to search around for a chorus part or ending, all those kind of things. So awesome, man. That's great. Have you thought about what the big splitting it into 3 parts, what the 3 sections are going to be?
I haven't given that part as much thought. I know that it's probably going to take me at least the first month to write the thing.
Okay. Is there going to be vocals?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I do feel like vocal lines add a lot to a song. I could go with just a guitar melody over the top. But, I think ultimately I would prefer to lay down vocals if I could.
Awesome. I'm curious to see how you write it. I'm curious to see if the guitar part comes first or if actually a melody comes first. Or you just write it on piano. Why not, right?
Who knows? Put the piano to use. I haven't sat at it in a few years.
Awesome. Great one. That's great, Evan. How about you, Coke? You got any ideas
So,
of something you'd like to achieve at the end of the summer?
well, 3 months. Okay, you mentioned this at the end of the last meet up there. You didn't really think that 3 months, or maybe it's 3 weeks, etc. I'm more of a 3 week guy. 3 months is like way out there for me. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking about it, I was like, I don't know. That seems like a really long
But
term
we're
goal for me.
we're talking big goals, though. I mean, we're talking like life, guitar playing altering goals, though. What's the biggest frustration that you've had with your playing?
It's hard to say because if you look at uh, how long I've been playing and how much, because it's only been since February 2019 is when I just started
All right,
strumming on a ukulele, you know what I'm saying?
right,
And I learned how to sing and play one song, and then I was off to the races after that. So then, I don't know, 2, 3 months after that, I was like, yeah, ukulele's fun and all, but I have a guitar I've never played and sitting in the other room. So I just picked that up and started on that thing. And, here we are 15, 16 months later. And if you break apart my 3 month progress, uh, man, I would have had like 47 goals all
that's
split up. So it's like my ADD with guitar is insane. I get sidetracked. Like I'll have a goal and then I'll be like, that's a really good goal. I'm gonna go try to do that. And then while I'm crushing that goal and getting closer and closer to it, I'm learning like four different things, and I'm like, man, now I got all these other goals, and I really care about those way more. You know what I
right.
mean? So, but I was gonna steal Evans because I do want to write a song, and I have started several. I would say, whether it's lyrics, whether it's guitar parts, whether it's solos, stuff like that. But I haven't sat down and knocked out, I would say, a whole writing process. And so it would be good to get, I guess, the whole process over with so that I know what my process would be like, I guess, to start and stop and start and stop and go all the way to the ending, rather than the piecemeal work that I do so far on writing.
Well, the for someone who's on like a fast track but who's been playing for the 1 to 2 years, the big goal is usually playing out. That's usually, but in your I think we touched on this before in the chat that playing out has a lot other issues for you as well.
Yeah,
So
and I would love to. I really would like to. I've got quite a few musical friends too, you know what I mean? And even just meeting up with them is kind of, it puts me on edge. Like, I don't know if I
yeah,
want to be around people at the moment. I am immunocompromised, and the virus isn't just going to disappear overnight. So
right,
if they come up with a vaccine, then yeah, I'm out there.
right.
I'm gonna be slugging away 3 hour shifts in a bar and playing. You know what I mean?
Well,
Um,
how about an EP? How about a 4 or 5 song collection at the end of 3 months? What
I
is that?
mean, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't really think that I have too much motivation to like record songs and stuff like that. Um,
I can tell you from a lot of people who've been playing for a long time, one of the things that they regret is not having a record of what they did in the past.
yeah,
Um, and for someone like you who's eaten up with the guitar and it is voraciously learning and learning and learning, having a way to document each stage along the way um, is something that a lot of people lose because they're always looking forward, and so having some recordings, even if it's just not songs, maybe it's just keeping um, keeping maybe recording a practice or something, like keeping a little bit of a journal, of an audio journal of how you sounded at a certain time is something
I do have those regrets already. I mean, I
Right.
wish I had from the get-go started recording myself then. And I do have, you know, like on, what is it called? Ultimate Guitar Tabs. You know, they've got an app that you can record what are called, they're just short blurbs, like I don't know, 50 seconds or a minute or long or something that you
Right.
can record. And I'll do those occasionally. So I've got some recordings of me singing and playing. I'm like, God, ew, ugh, ew. You know, were you even singing? Jesus, you know.
It's important though, man. Yeah, and it's okay because everybody sounds like that at first. You know, it's not, it's a learned, singing and playing guitar can be, you know, if you start off and you feel like, oh, that's not for me, that didn't work out so good, you know, you can rest assured that a lot of people go through that, and the ones that kind of stick with it always see results, you know. So I wouldn't let that get to you, but
No, I definitely have too. I do see results, and the thing is, I think it's kind of funny, but I never wanted to sing. I never wanted to sing and play. I have no motivation. I still don't
Right.
really want to sing and play.
Right.
I just can. So it's more like, well, this accompanies the guitar. I'm playing a song, and you know, sometimes when you're just strumming out chords of particular songs, you can't tell what song it is. As soon as you start singing the melody though, and it's going along to the chords, you're like, oh, you know, I know that one. Yep, I know what you're doing. Okay. So that was the whole point. I was like, well, if I sing and I play it, you know, people know exactly what I'm playing.
Right.
So it was just doing it to, because I can like go along with this thing. You know, originally it was just like I want to be able to do one song, and then I did, and I was like, okay, now I can do. Now I've got
tons of songs. Right.
Yeah, tons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd never cared if it sounded good. I still don't really. Like, I do care that I sound better than I did yesterday,
Right.
of course. But it's more so like, well, I care that I'm accompanying my guitar well, you know. But it's like, you might hate my voice. I don't care. That's fine.
Well, it's something to think about. Maybe just maybe having at the end of a extended period of time something that you can look back to. I'm going to go to the chat here real quick, and because I saw there was some coming in. Let's see here. So, and everybody was saying good job, Coke and Evan. Very cool, great review. And then we so Chris is saying I'm gonna do the Get the Funk Out solo for sure. That's great. Looking forward to that. He started and stopped it in the past, so but for 3 months he'll be able to stick with it. And then David says, I've decided to make my challenge to get all my basics and chords down, so when the academy launches, I'll be ready for more advanced training and get closer to immediate player. Great. And I can help you with that through the coaching as we go through the next couple months. Josh says, got to write a solo part to a song my dad wrote. He wanted me to do that before he gets too old and learn some songs all the way through. I think that's fantastic, Josh. That'd be wonderful. I look forward. I can help you with that. If you, I don't think you need me helping you with that. You just let me hear it. That's honest. Chris says, I'm also going to build my 30 songs list, which I feel is something we all could do. Compare notes and build the ultimate 30 song set list. Yeah, that's kind of the minimum, that you're a band that can handle whatever comes at you. You can handle short sets. You can handle 3 1-hour sets, depending on how you stretch those 10 songs out. And you can always play some of the first set songs at the end of the last set because it's always different people. But it's close. 30 songs is usually kind of that's the tipping point when you say, okay, no matter what comes at me, I've got something to play. And Chris said that was what Josh is going to do is super cool. Um, and let's see here. Brennan says great ideas. Chris says I think looking back at why you picked up the answers to the 3-monther could be there. I think he's talking to Coke. And then I'm going to also work on my 30 song list and complete my major scales. Great. And then I also like to start working on songwriting. Very cool, Brennan. And then Josh says just pre-record it like Kissed Us. And then you'll be out there live. Yeah, that's right, man. Okay, great. Well, that's great. I'm glad everybody's thinking about it at least. You know, just trying to put something out there. I know that with my group classes, a end of summer goal was really popular and really helped. And some of them we did a gear class, so that at the end of the summer we had worked our way through all the different, like, we'd spend times with compressors and different parts of guitar gear that you may not have ever dealt with or known. And so at the end of the summer they had a really solid knowledge of gear and had their tone, their guitar tones pretty squared away about what they would want to do and how not to waste money on different effects that you may not need by trying them out. I would bring in all the gear every week for these classes and let everybody try it out. So that was one that sticks in my head, that was people really, their goal was at the end going through all the different gear to have a solid knowledge of what they wanted their sound to be. So it's just a fun thing. I'm doing it, but I'm doing it a little bit differently. I'm doing it for other people's guitar playing. I'm trying to get my act together so we can all be moving forward even faster than we're moving right now. Okay, we're at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock. I want to thank Coke Morris and Evan Wilson for hanging out with me today and sharing their opinions and their experience with the guitar, and also for the wonderful conversation. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, always good conversations, and I'm just not on the in the chat part of it now.
Yeah, it was fun. I really look forward to Saturdays. I do a lot of stuff like this, and at some point you get tired of hearing yourself talk all the time. So it was nice to hear somebody else talking for a change, and to not have to answer my own questions all the time, having someone else asking the questions and answering. So, well, guys, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. And thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out. And tomorrow we're going to wrap up the weekend. I've got a few things that we're going to bring to your attention tomorrow about how we're moving forward, kind of in what I was talking about with the coaching for next week, and a couple other things too. So looking forward to tomorrow, and everybody have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everyone.